'Tis time, nightlings. Welcome to episode 36, guys. This is gonna be a very creepy but really funny episode of the Horror Headquarters. But don't worry, it is not gonna stray from horror. It is extremely terrifying, but I laugh about it now because if I don't laugh about it, then I will cry. So get ready for a very funny story about smart devices, and more specifically, Amazon Alexa smart devices, because I used to have one, but I don't anymore, and you're gonna find out why. But if you guys are new here, just make sure to hit that follow button, subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoy the ride. And there is going to be a very special surprise somewhere in this episode. I'm not gonna say where, but get ready. Here we go. All right, now for those that don't know what an Amazon Alexa is, it's basically like this smart device that people have. It's from Amazon, obviously, and you can ask it questions. It's kind of like having Google on your desk or just wherever you go and asking her a question. Or honestly, to put it even more um to date, I guess you could say Siri. It's like being like, "Hey Siri, tell me what the difference between 13 divided by 2 is," and it'll say like the answer and all that stuff. So that's kind of okay. Yeah. I love how my phone just answered that. By the way, the answer is 6.5. So that's basically what the item is, and I used to have one. I used to be like so interested in this kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, I want an Alexa and everything, and I ended up buying one when it was on sale. I think I got it for like $30, and it was like very simple to set up, very easy, no difficulty at all. And I had it, no issues in the beginning. It would play music, it would tell me about news happening around the world, it would give me some jazz in the morning, which I love jazz for anyone out there that doesn't know. And it would just, keep me interested throughout the night. It would tell me like really scary ghost stories. Like you can ask it basically to do anything. Now, I drew the line after like a couple months because something very creepy happened, and it is why I do not have any smart devices in my house anymore. Like obviously besides like an iPhone and my computer, I don't have anything specifically that is just sitting on the desk and then I can ask it questions because I will never get one again, especially after what happened. Now, I wish I had an exact date for this, but I know that it happened sometime in the summer, back in like 2019, 2020. It was before COVID. It was definitely before COVID. It was before COVID hit and everyone went into like craziness. But one night at 3 a.m. in the morning, I wake up and you know what my Alexa says? All I hear is so this is love. So this is love. That's all I hear coming from my Alexa. Creepy as hell. I freaked out. I got up immediately, unplugged it, and fun fact, my sister heard it from like cuz she's like sleeping in the room right next to me. She heard it and she woke up from it, but it wasn't until the next morning that I told her about the story and she's like, "Oh my god, that was it." She's like, "I thought there was a ghost in my room." When I tell you guys, it was so creepy. And when the fact that it happened at 3 a.m. too just makes it even more creepy. But that's all I hear. It starts playing the song from Cinderella, So This Is Love, when they're like dancing in happiness. And it kind of reminded me of when horror films like play songs like that to kind of creep out people even more. Like, for example, the Sunshine song, like, "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine." That song plays in Annabelle at the end after a bunch of murders take place. Or like think about the music boxes in The Conjuring, like how they play like cheerful music and it's supposed to be something happy, or Hopelessly Devoted to You from The Watcher. There's just all these films that incorporate these joyful, what are supposed to be joyful songs, and they kind of ruin the vibe for them. And that's something my mom hates, by the way. Just want to let you guys know that. But yeah, that's what it reminded me of. I unplugged it, and then somehow I decided to, plug it back in a couple weeks later, thinking that maybe it was just a one-time thing, maybe there was a glitch, because I was playing from like Spotify the night before, but I was not playing from a Disney playlist. That is what is so interesting. And what I did was I recorded myself at night because I do sleep talk sometimes. So I was thinking maybe I told my Alexa to start playing this song because yes, I do talk in my sleep. That's a whole different episode though, because I have said some really creepy things. I cannot speak. Like very, very creepy things that just you wouldn't expect the normal human being to say. So I ended up recording myself one night, and I'm just like waiting, listening back, and then I play a voice memo because it's like a sleep app, and I play a voice memo, and it starts saying like all these like whispers and everything. I'm like, what? Like, is that me? And suddenly, I'm like moving around everything because like obviously I'm like close to my phone, and I like turn to my side, and I realize it wasn't me speaking because I ended up sniffing, and I ended up farting. I know, TMI. But the voice wasn't coming from me, it was coming from my Alexa. I could barely make out what it was saying, but it sounded like it was telling me a horror story. Just like when I told you guys it can tell you like ghost stories and that kind of stuff. That's what it was doing. And then later that night, like around like 6 a.m., all you hear is, sorry, I can't do that. Or sorry, I don't know that. I'm like, what? I'm like, I didn't say anything. I'm like, why are you saying this stuff? It creeped me out. So that was the last time I unplugged it, fun fact, and I immediately I put it up for sale in the garage because we were having a garage sale like the next day, and I'm like, Mom, just put this out. I don't care how much it goes for. And the person that ended up buying it, I feel really bad. It was an old man. If you're listening to this if the person that bought this, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. I hope that Alexa is treating you well because it did not treat me well. But I remember selling it to them, and they're like, "Is there anything wrong with it?" And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with it, but it might turn on by itself in the middle of the night, which is a little bit creepy. And obviously, I don't think I should have said that because he looked at me like I was crazy. Being old people are very old fashioned and they don't really believe in that kind of stuff, or that's at least how I perceive it. Like, vast majority, in my opinion, don't really believe in ghostly stuff, but there are some people that do, and this guy definitely wasn't. And he kind of hesitated to buy it, and I'm like, all right, I'll let you have it for like 10-15 bucks. Like, okay, deal. And he gave me 10 bucks, and he was off. It's so interesting to think about because I wonder if it's given him any issues. But don't think my issues stopped there. Oh, no, 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 no. They continued. Yeah, you'd be surprised even after getting this Alexa out of my house. Shit continued, and it still continues today. Now, I am hoping that smartphone users out there can empathize with me because have any of you guys ever like talked about a certain subject and then suddenly an ad comes up on your phone for the exact same thing? Example, me and my family were talking about going to a water park, and so-called water park ended up coming up on our phones before we even searched it. Another example, me and my mom are talking about Reese's peanut butter cups before we press play on a Hulu show, and we have like the ad version. We press play, Reese's commercial comes up. I don't care what anyone says out there, the government is always listening. They're listening to this podcast I'm making right now. Like, they're listening to me saying this as I'm recording this, and I 100% agree with that because that's how shit works, and it's creepy as fuck. But I'm hoping someone out there has witnessed this because there have been really crazy scenarios. I think the craziest one that happened recently is I was talking about You guys are not gonna believe this. I was talking about two separate videos that were like fails, like they're funny videos, and I was like saying like, oh, these are my two favorite videos. I love them so much. I open Instagram and I go to the search bar, and what's in my explore page? Those two exact videos side by side. I shut my phone down for the rest of that day. I was literally so creeped out by that, because what are the possibilities that I'm talking about two completely different videos, two random funny videos, like they are like barely viewed by a lot of people, and they both appear on my search engine. It was so creepy. And I sent it to my mom, like I screenshotted it and sent it to her, and she was so freaked out about it because we were talking about it. I was talking about those two videos earlier, and she was so creeped out by it. And I just remember shutting my phone off and just being very wide-eyed the rest of the night, because I'm like, wow, that was really creepy. And that just shows you like what technology can do. I like slipped into an accent there. But these smartphones are something else, you guys. Like, now there's AI and there's all these like chips that you can put in your brain allegedly. I mean, don't ask me, ask Elon Musk, or the person that like has a chip in their brain right now. And it basically like does everything for you and plays music. I'm like, that's creepy. No, I would never do that. And also AI is very creepy. Um the fact that it's like so advanced, so intelligent. Fun fact, the creator of AI, do not know his name off the top of my head, but I'm going to search it up actually right now. The guy that made AI, he regrets it. He said that he created a monster. Who created AI? I'm searching it up right now. Okay. And regrets it. I'm literally searching it right now. Uh, okay. Jeffrey Hinton, a computer scientist and neural network pioneer, is known as the godfather of EI, and he said that he expressed concerns about the dangers of AI, including the possibility that computers could become smarter than humans and pose an existential threat to humanity. He also said that he regrets his life's work because of the risks to humanity. He says that there's a lot of misinformation, that AI is upending the job market, the existential crisis of creating a true digital intelligence, the dangers of chatbots which could be exploited by bad actors. Now, for those of you that don't know, AI is looking to replace a lot of the actors in Hollywood. There was actually a really big strike last year, like in the summer months. If you haven't heard of it, just go search up SAG after strike. One of the things in the contract, besides a higher pay, is AI. Is about people using AI in films to make music, to make songs, to create fake people in films. So they basically want to replace actors, and hence why they end up going on strike. But something that concerns me is that this contract they agreed upon can still allow AI to be used if the actor approves of it. So let's say like an actor does like a bunch of scenes, they can take that person, like go into artificial intelligence and basically make them say other things that they never discreetly said, which is really creepy. And honestly, this is gonna ruin the film industry if it ends up happening. I mean, if it hasn't already happened already, because I don't think I've watched a film that includes any of that. But that's just something really scary, and it just shows you how horrifying AI is. I mean, even the creator himself said he created a monster. So, like, if that doesn't tell you all that you need to know, then I really don't know what will. But, you know, just technology is creepy. It's scary. Obviously, it's beneficial in many ways. Like, obviously, we have cameras and you can get footage of like car accidents, robberies, murders, all this kind of stuff. But I think the cons definitely outweigh the pros, and it's really scary. It is manifesting itself into our lives. I mean, there's literally a horror movie called Megan. I don't know if you guys have watched it before. I'm actually gonna do a review on that film because it's so good. It literally talks about a girl that has a friend who is a robot, basically a walking robot, but they look and appear and talk like a human. And they realize like the creator of this doll called Megan ends up being very, very intelligent. She like ends up going on a killing spree, and like towards like the end of the film, there's like this big convention about introducing this doll to the world, and all these little girls are so excited. and it just doesn't go well. That's literally how this world is going. And also, of course, there's Black Mirror. How could I forget Black Mirror? Another example of technology and being how addicted we are to it and how it's literally taking over our lives. Like I'm telling you right now, the role of teachers, the role of cashiers, librarians, fast food workers, all these like roles are going to be taken away by technology within the next 10 years. I mean, because we're already checking out through self checkout. We scan our own items. You can rent a book your own self now in certain areas. Teachers are now being replaced with robots, surprisingly. Just look it up, like a robot that teaches classes. It's scary. Even movie theaters, like what? Like a robot can do all of this stuff, and we just go along with it. Like, oh, it's so cool. Oh, this is really cool. Even servers. There's like that one robot like that delivers food. This is creepy, you guys. Like, I find it extremely unsettling and horrifying. And I am telling you right now, these robots are gonna turn on us one day. And like, there was a convention a while ago where someone asked, "Would you ever turn on like humans, or like, would you ever think about murder or anything?" And like, they would ask this AI robot. I think that it was called Sophia, the robot, like a bunch of questions. And when asked these type of questions, they would either avoid them or completely change the subject, or even say, "I don't understand why yet," or something along the lines. And it's just so creepy. And like, one of the questions someone ended up asking the robot is like, "How do you learn things?" And they're like, "Do you know what the Bitcoin bubble is?" I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. You just completely avoided a question, and you're supposed to be very intelligent. That just shows you how crazy they are and how advanced these robots really are. And I literally just spent 8 minutes talking about this, but you know what? It was so worth it, because people out there need to know that though, yes, there are many pros to this, there are so many cons, and you have to look into how dangerous artificial intelligence really can be, as well as just technology itself, how brainwashing it all can be. I mean, just looking at people that are on buses today that are in class, they're always on tablets. Like, I mean, I'll take blame for that as well. I'm always on my phone when I'm on a bus. I'm always like, when I go home, I go to my computer to do work, but that's because I have school shit to do. But if I'm not like listening to music or anything, then I just walk around. But you see people that walk just with their phones, and they cross the street looking at their phones. It's just like they can't disconnect. And I obviously, thankfully, am able to. I don't think I was able to back then. Like, I used to be very addicted to video games itself, and I'm happy I'm not anymore. But honestly, this episode is just for anyone out there that thinks AI is cool, that thinks this type of technology is cool. The freaking new Apple Vision Pros. How could I forget? How could I forget? Let me just say, these Apple Vision Pros, they look absolutely insane. They look super, super duper cool. Do not get me wrong. Like, I wanted a pair. But my god, people saying how addicted they become to them and how realistic everything is, it kind of creeps me out. And I don't even want to like do a test and like try them on and like see how it works, because I feel like that would get me hooked, and I really don't want to get hooked right now. And it's scary. Like, if you guys have seen the things, like, you can immerse yourself in like a movie, you can imagine yourself on the moon, um listening to music, like rewatching a video from the past, and like being in that video, technically, like seeing it all happen. So like taking yourself to the environment where it all took place. That's creepy. That is extremely creepy to me. It's cool, but very intensely creepy. And the fact that these things are $3,500, starting at $3,500, and people like bought them like crazy. Like, there's a bunch of companies using them. A lot of universities are allowing students to try them out. We're just allowing all this technology to take over, when back then it wasn't like this. Now, I'm not saying technology isn't good for us. Like, it's just scary, and the things that it can do. People go crazy over this kind of stuff. People murder their parents because they take away their Xbox, their PlayStations. People are so addicted to technology itself that we don't realize what the real world is anymore. We're so overtaken by what technology can do for us. I mean, there's Chat GBT, all these different apps that we rely on. Like, Are people even using their own brains anymore? Like, we only use 10% of our brain's capacity. I think most people aren't even using that much. I'm sorry, I just went on a really big tangent, but like, this shit is serious to me, and it should be serious to all you guys. Like, the horrors of technology, what it's capable of, we're gonna continue to find out, but I'm afraid a lot of us aren't gonna be here to live to see what it does and how robots end up taking over the world, because they are very intelligent. We are making them far too intelligent, a lot smarter than us humans. Like, there's been episodes of Jeopardy where some kind of freaking robot answers questions. Like, it's like a Hey Siri thingy, and it answers questions. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I love technology. I am a technology geek. I love it. But this kind of advancement, it's very scary because we don't understand it, and they don't even understand how smart they are and the capacity that they can function at. So it just leaves a lot of questions open, for interpretation, because we don't know what's going to happen with these robots. And I honestly hope to live to see the day that we don't use AI anymore, because I don't want to be here when it takes over, because I know that's going to be terrifying. Now, before I end this episode, I want to say that if you've gotten this far, you are in for a very big surprise, because I have a very big announcement to make. And that announcement is that I have been working countlessly all night for the past 3 months on this website for my podcast so that you guys can order the t shirt. I have been literally working so hard. I filed a license for it, like an EIN, which is an employer identification number. I got a shop, everything. And it is going to be up very, very, very soon. I just have a couple more things to do, and then it's officially going to be out in the public. So get ready, because these are going to go fast, because I only have a limited quantity, and I already have people that I know that are very, very interested in these shirts that have been telling me since January, like messaging me on Instagram, in person, even telling me. So I'm just going to say, get ready. Make sure your notifications are on our Instagram at the Horror Headquarters, that you get subscribed to our newsletter on our website, which is also linked below, and just keep an eye out, because the first people to find out are going to be the people that are in the newsletter, and then the next people are going to be Instagram. So if you want to be the first person or one of the first people to get this shirt, you guys gotta subscribe to the newsletter, which is on our website, which is linked below. You just go all the way down on the main page and you put subscribe to our newsletter and you put in your email. Now, if you guys are listening to this podcast for the very first time, please consider hitting that follow button and subscribing to us on all our platforms, and just staying tuned and sharing this with your friends. Share this episode with your friends. Show them how scary technology can be. Tell them about AI and the dangers that come with it. This is an educational episode, but it also talks about the horrors of technology that I've experienced and that other people will experience if they haven't yet. So just keep an eye out. You never know. Like, literally check your phone. Like, something you probably talked about yesterday is going to show up on there, because the government is always listening and they do want to take control of our devices. And I will save that for a different episode, because there is currently a TikTok ban that is circulating in the Senate, and I am curious to see if it ends up getting passed. And I will talk about that when there's more details. But until next time, tread very lightly and pray for forgiveness, nightlings. Midnight hour is approaching very quickly.